Scene 105, take one.
My name is Girl Georgia. And I come from here. We're in Berkeley right now. I'm from Oakland, which is about 10 miles further down in the hood. I go back to the hippie days. I go before the hippie days, at the end of the beatnik days. The coffee houses where Kerouac and them, Janis first played. The very first time I played guitar, I was a topless dancer on Broadway, North Beach, Carol Doda days. I ran the amateur topless contest. I ran and I was in it. They saw I was a little hippie that just walked in the place. We had old ladies that were 80 years old and old strippers, that sits down on their knees. It was a freak show. That's when I started playing guitar, and I was like 21 years old. For the first year, I was Dylan. That's all I did was Dylan. That's all I wanted to do was Dylan. So I know Dylan very good. I knew 3 chords and 1 song I've been playing 3 days. I went up there, and I was used to being up there naked. Being up there with a guitar, a big fucking deal, Clubs just pay me to be a freak. I would just play and be whacked out on whatever, mostly grass. Whoever comes up with me, that's who plays with me for as long as they want to stay. Some, it's that 1 song. Some, it's every week for a couple years. Like Star. Star came up on stage to me. She lasted from 1971 to 73. Chris Christopherson seen his places. Oh, you guys are great. You should go to Nashville. So I told Star, I said, we got to go to Nashville. We're going to be superstars, bigger than the Beatles, So she wrote a bum check, and me and her and our piano player flew to Nashville. And then we went in the Ramada Inn, because that's where Johnny Cash had his show. So, that's a cool place. Hey, we were a good old girl, sort of high boots and a cape and a 3-foot sword in Nashville. And stars like bangles and beads all up and down, look like Marilyn Monroe on acid, half naked, mostly naked, And the ripped stockings, that comes from her. She always wore these net stockings that she ripped on purpose. And now she did that before any of these Courtney Loves or Madonnas. This is way before that, She was sort of like Courtney Love's mother. We went on the road with Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, and we were touring with, Chuck Berry and Stevie Wonder. I've been on the same bill as Chuck Berry and Stevie Wonder. And we'd do one of our songs in the middle of the set. And Star would be eating a banana, and at the end I would take off my sword and throw it for the air, and the roadie on the other side would catch the sword, and the minute he caught the sword, I would do a flip, and the lights would go out. That's how it ended. It was just crazy, crazy. I started running the coffee gallery in North Beach, which is where I started. I ran it and booked all the acts, and that's where I met Mike Wilhelm and Carlos Guitarlos. He was a young boy. He's younger than me. I bring everyone up on stage. Anybody wants to do anything. They can sing, they can dance, they can stand on their heads. Carlos just came up and started playing with me, played with me for about a year or 2. And when he left, he ended up going back to LA, and he went with Top Jimmy and was really heavy in the punk scene. Everyone in the audience is involved now. I have a microphone that you carry around. So I can go all the way to the back of the room and terrorize them and shove the mic in their face and make them sing and make them dance and make them bark. That's how I end my show here every night, is barking. Yeah. They let us do anything we want to here. There's no rules here except don't get on our nerves, And they like me. I ended up in LA in 1983. I went to LA to be a movie star or whatever. And then I ran into Carlos Guitarlos, and he took me to this weird club. I'd seen it in the paper and said, no talent night. I go, no talent? Yeah, sure. You know, so I never went there. And Carl said, here, come to the club with me. You'll love it. So he brought me downtown here. This is like about 1984. There's all these danky old buildings, and a few blocks down, there's a bunch of people sleeping in cardboard boxes. So me and Carlos walks in the door at Al's bar, this dumpy looking, and we walk in and it's like fairyland. I go, oh, I'm home, you know. So, well, this is a place for me. And then I went up on stage and I did Johnny Got Herpes. And they loved it. I wrote that at the Improv. They would let you do one song, or the comedians did 3 minutes. So everyone had a joke about herpes. So I wrote Johnny Got Herpes for them. And then I took it to Al's bar, and that was their favorite. They got into it. They got it. They understood it. I found home. I found home. I was at Al's bar for like 12 years. Every fucking no talent night. I was there at 11 o'clock and they came and they screamed and they yelled and they sang along. I pulled everyone up on stage. Every musician, whether you've been playing a week or whatever. But I got some really good musicians that would just come up because I'm fun. The energy's good. And the whole audience is up there, so, you know. When I first went in there, no talent night was all poets. The only musician was Charlie Becker. Everyone there was a poet that threw stuff at each other. I don't know why they did that, but they did. They were more like a punk band, and I'd never seen that before. Back in the bohemian days, they were real soft and sweet and gentle or radical, but not throwing shit at each other and heckling each other. I'd never seen such a thing in my life, and that's where the throwing things came from. After the poets were gone, I got more and more punk, and the musicians started coming in. But they'd always heard that you threw cups there, and some of them threw them back. And then they were going back and forth. Nobody's ever thrown anything at me. One guy tried it once. I jumped on the stage and said, come on, motherfucker. Then Al's up in the booth going, don't fuck with George. And Cliff comes running in, this 6'5" bouncer, and say, get out. I love Cliff. Cliff was great. He's like big and so sweet. Above the bar, it said, occasional artist sacrifice. Mark egged him on up there, you know. We promise no talent, and we deliver. And this is a place you pay your dues, you motherfucker. And he was a great Satan. Mark was a great Satan. He whipped him into shape. And Al should go down into history as being the ringmaster. His real name was Mark, but he was Al. He was the man. And you don't fuck with him because he had a lock on the door. He had himself caged in so you couldn't go in there and kill him. I'm very stoned, I have, you know, so consider that. I walked in there, I knocked them dead. They worshiped the ground I walked on, they said, right. So I fed off of them, so all the songs I wrote about them.
Here's a song I wrote about this town called Al's Bar.
I'd write a new song for him every week because they got bored. If they didn't like it, they'd go out in the patio and you'd turn around, the place would be empty. And you go out in the patio and they're out there smoking a joint, and then the next act would go on and the place would be packed again. Now, that was the worst insult than having stuff thrown at you. They were very opinionated, but I was lucky they liked me. I did, they went for it. The crazier I got, the more they liked it, so I got crazier and crazier. Don Jones. He was there every week. One night he said to me, "You got tenacity. You just never stop." So I've always liked that word because I said, yeah, that describes me. I don't give up. I'm a Scorpio. I never quit. He was the one that I knew up in the American Hotel that had the cocaine. All the musicians were always hanging around him, and that was his way of getting free music up there. You come up there and you play and he'll get you stoned. Stacy, she was our favorite. She was like a little pixie that kind of danced around. She was there for 10 years or so. I mean, it would have been nothing without her. If you own a bar, have cute girls working there, and they got to be tough as nails. Stacy was great. Everyone loved her. She was magic. She just made it work. He never really liked me. I'm just too Berkeley probably for him. You know, he's very hardcore. You know, most people are my best friend. They think they're my brother, you know. But some people aren't, so.
You know, the entire Pueblo is quite proud of you. In fact, there's going to be a party tonight in your honor at El Palacio.
He had this play, Showdown in Sonorytown, that he had written and he had directed, and this was his masterpiece. And the guy from Cheers was backing it, Norm, and it was all about the Americans taking over the Spanish land back in the day, you know, the cowboys and Indians. And they're all shooting each other. He had written these 3 characters in that were musicians that had nothing to do with all this drama. They were wandering through town on tour on a donkey or something. These guys, they had nothing to do with the play. We were just wandering through. We didn't give a fuck about anything. We wanted to get stoned and play music. Typical musicians. So the role was easy for me. They wrote it for 3 guys. That's why it's not sexist. All the roles in there were so fucking sexist. You had your Madonna and you had your whore. All the songs in it I wrote to his specifications because I wouldn't have written them so dorky. Mark went kind of weird and he changed No Talent Night from Thursday to Sunday. I said, fuck you, I ain't gonna play on Sunday. You're gonna kill it, nobody's gonna come. And so I quit going, and then it died. It died, literally died. And then I was playing down at Cantor's at the Kibitz room. I played every Friday night. And I was so loud they had me hear Johnny got herpes coming into Cantor. He says, all these people eating their food. So I was there for like 5 years.
Anybody know how to twerk around here?
I'm still doing this. This is here. This is just like Al's bar was.
Johnny got herpes and don't know what to do. Thought it was cold and thought it was blue.
I play here every Wednesday night. They have an open mic, and I don't play guitar anymore because my hands are fucked up. So I make the guy that runs it back me up, and he's a good guy, and he backs me up so good. His energy is the same as mine.
Johnny got herpes. Johnny got herpes. Johnny got herpes.
It's fun. So everybody's up there singing along, and they all throw in stuff and add stuff. That's Al's bar used to do that. They used to give you a lot, you know. They go up on stage and they would add a lot of dimension there. So Al's was great. If Dylan and Jagger had a baby, it'd be me. Everywhere I go, the audience say I draw artists, you know, young kids that are just seeing the world for the first time. They're in art school and they're looking around and they find me and they go, wow! And they think they found something because it's the energy, it's sparkly, woo! Da-da-da-da-da-da, you know. They like flashy things and I'm flashy, swords and, you know. it's always going to be my time, but it never is. So now that I'm 70, it is my time. I've worked hard and learned my craft.
Cut.